हमारी सुतपा जी दोनों आ चुकी हैं। आई विल चेंज द फोटो ऑन दैट। बहुत बहुत आभार। हम आप सभी का इंडिपेंडेंट रिसर्च एथिक्स सोसाइटी के आयुष समृद्धि ज्ञान गंगा के 1960वें पड़ाव पर हार्दिक स्वागत करते हैं। आज इंटरनेशनल एंटी करप्शन डे है। हमने उसका नाम रखा कॉम्बैट करप्शन। करप्शन कहें उसे या सुविधा शुल्क कहें, मैं नाम नहीं जानता, लेकिन शॉर्टकट का एक तरीका करप्शन है। यदि आदमी ब्रिलियंट है, यदि आदमी कैपेबल है, यदि आदमी सब कुछ समर्थ है, सक्षम है, फिर भी उसे कहीं ना कहीं जीवन में करप्शन का शिकार जरूर होना पड़ता है। चाहे वो 2 रुपए ज्यादा देके ब्लैक का टिकट हो सिनेमा का, या वो आउट ऑफ लाइन जाने के लिए कहीं एक्स्ट्रा कुछ देना पड़े। लेकिन मेरे हिसाब से भारत का एक भी नागरिक ऐसा नहीं होगा जो इसका विक्टिम नहीं रहा होगा। और आज तो करप्शन का बड़ा अच्छा एक तरीका आ चुका है, स्कैम एंड स्कैंडल्स डिजिटल। आप बैठे रहो, करप्शन ऐसा हो जाएगा कि बैंक खाली हो जाएगा। वो आचार भ्रष्टाचारी है। तो आचार संहिता क्या है और भ्रष्टाचार क्या है, इस पे हमारे सभी वक्ताओं से हम आशीर्वाद चाहेंगे। मैं आदरणीय अग्निहोत्री सर से उनके सैकत जी, सुतपा जी आज बोलेंगे कुछ। डॉक्टर सैकत जी, मैं अग्निहोत्री जी से स्वागत की प्रार्थना करता
Hello, hello,
जी
Dr. Sharma. I have a very
हूँ।
sore throat,
जी
and I'll try to say something about anti-corruption, but I am not a expert in this line,
नो
so I'll
प्रॉब्लम।
maybe like
आई वी
but
डोंट नीड
because
एक्सपर्ट ओनली, वी नीड विक्टिम्स ऑल्सो।
yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, I will be telling one or two lines after all.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू।
Esteemed speaker, finish. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So I would like to invite
so
Professor V.K. Agnihotri sir
so
for his
with the
welcome
pleasure
address.
that our guest speakers have joined, I welcome all the guest speakers, including Dr. Sekat Kwan Prasuji, Dr. Suttapa Bardhanji for their presence. And naturally, this is the subject where either one has been cheated by others, so can be designed as victim, or a person who took the benefit of it, getting out of line or getting promotion without the turn and whatsoever. So this is a very interesting topic, and as Professor Pramod Sharma ji told that till date life, everybody might have suffered from such type of situation. And now the things have been so changed, as the scenario is so changed that we say it as if you want to get your work done timely, so it is a suvidha shulk, or now the Bhashtachar has become the Shishtachar in that way. So this is also a curse to the society, whoso is involved and whoso is going to be benefited. So rest all the ideas and all the deep-rooted concerns will be told by Dr. Sekat Vasuji and Suttapaji. So I welcome both the guest speakers, and afterwards we will also seek the others person's thought also. So with these words, we again request Professor Panchamaji to please invite our guests. Namaskar.
I would like to invite Dr. अरुणा जी, आप भी रुकिएगा, रामवीर जी आप भी। I would like to request Dr. Sakat Kumar Basu ji on the corruption.
Anti-corruption day.
डॉक्टर सैकत जी तक हमारी आवाज जा रही है? जब तक सैकत जी तक आवाज जाती है, मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा सुतपा जी से उनके विचारों के लिए। आई वुड लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट डॉक्टर मैडम सुतपा वर्धन जी फॉर हर व्यूज ऑन करप्शन। सुतपा जी,
Yeah,
am I
yeah,
audible to you?
yes, you are audible to me. But yeah, sorry, I'm not available today on the video because I actually did not felt that I will not be able to speak. But then, as I say, Ayush platform is such a place. I always get so enthusiastic and so motivated when I see enthusiastic people and like big stalwarts and veterans like you. See, regarding corruption, I think we don't have to deal much with it. But a quick thought came into my mind when you actually said, if I am being victimized, okay. So, sorry. So I do not want to start today's. I do not want to start today's session with a sad note, but indeed, because once again, being a mental health professional or a consultant, we always think that like we have to be happy, and no matter whatever happens in our life, we have to move on. So what I can say is, if you look all around, starting from like once again, if you see the human development life cycle, we come across these stages as we enter into our adulthood, right? Like so, whenever we are a child and we learn the good ethics from our parents and our loved ones and also our teachers. So that's how the nature and the nurture of a little, like child or an infant is brought up. But unfortunately, when we are thrown into the harsh reality, the cruel society, we get to understand that life is not a dream, life is not ideal, and maybe what we have seen around us is not what we will be experiencing around us. So with this, I can like try to highlight and probably also give an expectation that very important for parents, for us, that we set the right expectation to our next generation, that whenever we are teaching them good gestures, we are teaching them good ethics. Of course we teach them not to tell lies, we of course we teach them that not to cheat others, but somehow or the other we come in the situation of this corruption. And I can tell you, even the worst and the worst corrupted person will have parents and will have people who might not have even taught them corruption, or might not have even taught them, like to be to be somebody who can cheat others. But maybe, like as we know, people become greedy, people want more and more, and these are areas, and these are key aspects which actually makes a person corrupted, and to make shortcut money, to gain fame. And there can be many other reasons why a person feels that corruption is a shortcut mean, and the easiest mean, and the best mean to cheat somebody and to get the money. So, what we can do to our children and the next generation is, probably, as I said, like I will not be able to talk much on this, but as we are grooming our children, as we are grooming our next generation, that we have to be honest, we have to be somebody who should not cheat, but we also have to groom them that life is what it is, that we have to understand that we always think of an ideal life, but but life becomes very difficult when it comes to a real life situation. So how we explain to our children, or how we explain to people who have faced difficulties in life, or who has been cheated, is how is the coping mechanism. So as a mental health consultant, so this is a topic which might not be directly related to mental health, but what we can see that time and again we have seen people who have been shattered, who have been broken in life, who have lost all faith in his near and dear ones, because probably they have been cheated, or they have faced some sort of a corruption in some sphere of their life. So what we can only say is, like try to make them feel, make them understand that this is life, the coping mechanisms they have to take, and how they can deal with it. And I think, like with this, I can also narrate a very personal, sad story of mine, and whereby I lost my own father, who has been a victim of this corruption. So my father was one of the very reputed person, because he was a teacher. He has done a lot of struggle all through his life, and he was not only a teacher, but he was an author, and he had always worked very hard. And not only that, he has also done lot of mm, humanitarian activities, like teaching poor people, poor students without money. But what happened at the end of his life was, he became inclined to some shares and all, which he was never equipped with. He was not a person who could understand much about shares. So towards the end of his life, he dependent on somebody, and eventually the whole life's investment got, he got cheated, and all his money was siphoned, and he was left with nothing. So this is absolutely what has happened with him, and it's almost 13 years back. And I remember the day when we disclosed him and how he kept on, like degenerating. And we are here all at this age. So when a man at 73 and 74 realizes whatever hard earned money he has saved for his children, and he was proud that as a father, like, I have left this amount of money so that when I am not there, the security is what my money can give you, has vanished on one fine day. And that too from an honest man in a dishonest means. He just passed away in 3 months' time. And though we all know that clinically it was pneumonia, but we realized that it was a life expectancy which was missing, and that's why he passed away. So, with this, probably I can say, like, today's topic is, once again, thank you, Sharmaji. You brought something, maybe like that's what I like about Ayush, and I get very attached that you bring out something in the mind which actually, brings out a lot of catharsis. And that's how Ayush is so close to me, being a mental health professional. So once again, corruption will be there. We cannot avoid it, and that's how we can, just like, because there is sunrise, we understand what is sunset. Because there is a black color, we understand what is white color. Similarly, because there is corruption, we also realize the value of not being corrupted and people who are good. So with this, probably I would just, these are things which I just wanted to share. And I think Ayush is becoming very close to my heart. So today I shared one of my very painful experience of my life, and which has been a disaster in my life, probably. So I did not want to share this sad part, but yes, it is a sad part, and that's how I have been coping for the last 10 years. Thank you once again, everybody, and it's always a great esteem to be in this platform. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, madam. Very nicely said. Thank you. As we are observing on our roads of Calcutta, 10, 12 years before, they were eligible candidates but not selected due to corruption. And they are on roads. They are without employment. Teachers, sir, teachers, senior secondary teacher, they are on road being capable, after being capable and eligible and for 10 years. But they have not. That is their fate.
Yes,
So
yes,
thank you.
yes,
Thank you.
yes, Pavanji. Yes, Pavanji. And I think this is
Thank you.
something, I don't know, like, this will go on. It's like a infection. It's like a pandemic. It's like an epidemic. So the only way as a mental consultant, mental health consultant, I can say, and as you are doing it for the blessing of the society, making people aware of it, and what we can do is help to build up more coping mechanism to face these disasters against corruption. So thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, madam. Now I would like to request Dr. Sakat Kumar Vasuji. Dr. Sakat ji, please. आपका माइक खुला है लेकिन आवाज नहीं आ रही है. डॉक्टर सैकत कुमार बसु जी.
Uh-huh. I have been able to connect now.
हरिओम.
हरिओम हरिओम.
नो प्रॉब्लम. इसके बाद
शर्मा
एक
जी
और है,
अभी
बस छोटी सी बात.
थैंक यू मैं थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हूँ. अभी है कॉम्बैट करप्शन, वो लाइक टिप्स फॉर आयुष, वो
We
वाला
can.
क्या हो गया या इसके बाद है?
टेक्नो फॉर आयुष तो नेक्स्ट है.
अच्छा नेक्स्ट है. ठीक ठीक. मैडम आज अवेलेबल नहीं है. वी आर वेरी लकी दैट वी हैड
नहीं,
सुष्पा
कोई
जी.
बात नहीं, हम लोग है ना, आप हैं, हमें बहुत है.
ठीक है ठीक है. थैंक यू थैंक यू. तो करप्शन के बारे में सुष्पा जी ने हैज ऑलरेडी वेरी नाइसली इलस्ट्रेटेड, और हम सभी जानते हैं. बट करप्शन इज अ सिस्टम, लाइक यू नो, वी समटाइम्स आइडेंटिफाई कि ये सरकार करप्ट है या वो सरकार करप्ट है, लेकिन अगर आप बड़ी अच्छी तरह से इन डेप्थ देखोगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि हमारे सोसाइटी ही करप्ट हो गया है. We are all subscribing to corruption in some form or other. Like while we may be pointing fingers at one another, this system is running because we are all corrupt in some way or other. Somewhere we are supporting corruption, somewhere we are looking for taking shortcuts, वगैरह. So corruption is a system related problem And it also reflects the part and the country where it is happening. Like, for example, we are talking about corruption in a particular state. There are corruptions in other states too, but in one particular state you will see, because this has become so frequent, because this has not been opposed, this has not been, no actions are being taken properly, no justice is being given. We have seen that many of the cases which has been raised and has been punished by the courts, from the lower to high courts going to the supreme courts, are getting either unimaginably pushed back for time, for no apparent reason, for very very fishy reasons, or very suspicious judgments are being given, which people are asking that where is the natural justice. Without naming, we would say that the reign of the last existing Chief Justice of India was very very disturbing. Like, many of the rulings that has been passed are very very highly questionable. Activities are questionable, and this is, if the highest courts of India shows insensitiveness and lack of justice in the highest courts of India, this is going to percolate down to the other courts and down to the lower court. So one of the pillars of democracy, like, whether we are fighting corruption, whether we are fighting nepotism, one is executives, one is the justice system, one is the constitution, and one is the administration or the bureaucracy. Or if all these three strong pillars of these four things, on which, and journalism is another, the fifth pillar of democracy we call, if all these pillars, on which the chair is standing, if they become infected by termites and they are crippling and crumbling, then the democracy is really in very serious danger. We have to really ask the question where the society is going, and more uh, dangerously, what our new generation is learning. There is no motivation of good learning, positive learning for them. So I'm more worried that our next generation being raised in this system of chaos, where rampant corruption has become a very significant issue in some parts of our country, that and also in other parts of the world too. It is not an isolated phenomena, but just by taking the example of our country, we could say that our justice system, our executive system, and our bureaucracy are working hand in hand in a way that it is supporting that corrupt system to survive, while the natural justice, the natural peace and natural elegance of the citizens of the country is being overlapped, or is being neglected, which is very disturbing. And if this continues for a very long time, very very long time, it will corrode the entire system of the country, as what we see in case of countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, countries around us. Why are they showing the weakness? Because these are smaller countries, so they are breaking apart. India is a much much bigger country with a much much stronger economic power, but no economic power can continue unless the things that are going, unless you keep your house in order. And keeping the house in order is very challenging. If you point fingers towards corruption, you will definitely get yourself into trouble. Several civil service officers who have done their best job by highlighting towards corruption. There was an international coverage on the life of one IS officer. She never got promoted in his 37 years career. He has been transferred 33 years, 33 times, without being given any promotion. His only fault is that constantly he has worked against corruption, raised his voice against corruption. So he has been transferred from one place to another. His career has been disrupted. That man has lost and sacrificed a lot. But nonetheless, this gives an example for us that there are some people who are standing back against this corruption. And definitely, if we look deep into the society, we are all intermingled in this shade of corruption. We are either involved or we are silently supporting it. By silent support, I mean that by never protesting, by never raising voice, by never writing a letter, by never raising any eyebrows, we are allowing this system to continue, where we are making our next generation extremely vulnerable. First of all, they are learning the wrong things. They are learning that honesty is not well paid. Dishonesty is the call of the day. Third, that those who have political power and our judicial power and our executives are working in hand in gloves. So if you have connection in your high offices, no courts in India can touch you. No matter whatever you do, you will get through. For example, we have discussed about this, like, so many of these rich people kids who are causing accidents after drinking and killing people, most of the time they are running a mess by paying huge money to the police and administration, to the lawyers, and they are not being brought to the book. I will guarantee you, those kids that has escaped the courts and the police station today, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years back, these people will again be brought in front of the court again for some other criminal activities, because once they are not punished and their parents, because of their power of money, is trying to protect them, is not only doing harm to the nation, not only doing harm to the society, they are doing harm to themselves, because these untrustworthy kids will come back and haunt them again. Today they have money and they think that by providing that money, they could provide a screen, they can provide a route for them to escape. But there is actually no escape. Today, your money can escape from here, but they will again come back within 10, 15 years with a greater crime, with a greater problem, with a greater issue. So the corruption has become like an enteric infection, it's a gastrointestinal infection. Once gastritis impacts you, your whole health is impacted, because your central digestive system is disrupted. If your central digestive system is disrupted, your body will start lacking in minerals, nutritions, and growth factors and other hormones which will help for your building block, and the whole system collapses. You get weaker and weaker over the time. Same is a nation. This thing of corruption in particular states of India running so amass, and political power has been misused so extensively that there will be repercussions down the line. Till now, we are not feeling the impact to a certain extent, is because our economy is stronger at this point of time, but no economy can sustain incessant corruption day and night. This will come and impact us in some day or other. That day when we protest, maybe it will be too late for us to protest. Many things may have gone through over our head. Now, for any of these lectures, we talk about like what are the solutions that we could look for corruption. I would say that, rather than a formal lecture, I would like to end this by the best thing is to keep yourself individually out of corruption. Try and avoid corruption. Try and do not try to be a part of it. But having said that, sometimes within the system, say if it is in a police system, if you are not taking bribes, you will be punished within the system because you are a part of the system, and by not taking the bribe that is being divided across various members, you will create a lot of enemies. So people are helpless, but nonetheless, if there is possibility, if there is opportunity for you to avoid corruption. You may not be rich, may not be famous, may not be a celebrity, or may not make a huge amount of money, but at least you will be able to go to your bed and sleep peacefully. Those who are amassing wealth are also on the CBI radars today. Today there is one government that is not picking you up. Tomorrow there will be another government that may scrutinize you and get you into trouble. So better it is to get out of it. But having said that, those who are powerful, those who are economically, empowered in our country, the social elites, they have 100 ways of getting away with the corruption. So we really do not know how the corruption and how far the corruption is going to stretch our country, and what will be our final impacts and stuff, whether we'll disintegrate as a country, or whether there will be civil disturbance within the country down the line, 20, 10 years, 15 years from now, with the level of corruption that we are being impacted. I would like to conclude my presentation with the hope that that Subuddhi will overcast us and give us the right direction in our life, so that we take the right path and the righteous path, and not take the wrong and the dark path, for betterment of our individuality, for betterment of our family, betterment of the society, and the betterment of the country. Thank you very much, Sharma ji. We very much look forward for our next webinar. Thank you for the opportunity provided.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, थैंक यू। मैं अब डॉक्टर रामवीर शर्मा जी को उनके कमेंट्स के लिए इनवाइट करता हूं ऑन करप्शन। डॉक्टर रामवीर शर्मा जी। But within 5 minutes, we are starting our next webinar. That is small with two speakers, Saikat ji and Sutpa ji.
जी भाई जी,
रामवीर
मैं
सर कुछ
अब
बोलेंगे वो करप्शन पे?
वीडियो नहीं चलाऊंगा, अभी ऐसे ही बोल सकता हूँ।
हाँ नहीं, मत नहीं, आनंद आनंद कीजिए।
हाँ जी।
जय हो।
भ्रष्टाचार, आपने जो करप्शन के लिए कहा, तो सबसे बड़ा चीज करप्शन तो यही है कि हम करप्शन को बोलें और करप्शन को ऊपर ही चलें, उसके कोई आचरण नहीं करें। तो पहला भ्रष्टाचार तो यही है कि हम करप्शन को बोलने के बाद भी अपने सही आचरण पर न चलें, और भ्रष्टाचार ही भ्रष्टाचार को जन्म देता है। अगर मैं कोई गलत काम कराने जा रहा हूँ, तो मुझे वो काम कर, जैसे मेरी सीट बुक नहीं है और टीटी के पास जाके कहूँ मुझे सीट दे दो, तो उसको पैसे दे रहा हूँ, तो भ्रष्टाचार ही मैं कर रहा हूँ और भ्रष्टाचार के लिए बढ़ावा दे रहा हूँ। बहुत कठिन है डगर पनघट की, ये जो भ्रष्टाचार की डगर है, सत्य का आचरण है, बहुत कठिन है। हर जगह पे ठोकर खानी पड़ती है। आपने बताया कलकत्ता के अंदर ईमानदारी पूर्वक लोगों का चयन नहीं हुआ भ्रष्टाचार की वजह से। तो भ्रष्टाचार है क्या, करप्शन है क्या? करप्शन ये है कि व्यक्ति से व्यक्ति के अंदर परिवर्तन आता रहता है। एक पटवारी आपसे 25,000 रुपए की रिश्वत ले लेगा तो भ्रष्टाचार नहीं, वो शिष्टाचार है। वही आदमी आपकी दुकान पे आएगा और दुकान पे आने के बाद में आपकी माचिस खरीदेगा, और माचिस को आपने 1.25 रुपए कहेगा तो कहेगा नहीं नहीं ये तो 1 रुपए की है, यानी उसको आप 25 पैसे ज्यादा ले रहे हैं, वो भ्रष्टाचार है। और वो 25,000 रुपए ज्यादा ले रहा है, वो भ्रष्टाचार नहीं है। तो ये शिष्टाचार और भ्रष्टाचार में बहुत ज्यादा अंतर नहीं है। आपने एक बात और कही, चीटिंग, वो क्या नाम है, जो पैसे दे लेते हैं, वो चीटिंग है। चीटिंग में और भ्रष्टाचार में अंतर है, करप्शन में अंतर है। भ्रष्टाचार कौन करता है? सबसे ज्यादा भ्रष्टाचार करता है शक्तिशाली आदमी, शोषण है ये। चाहे वो नेता हो, चाहे ब्यूरोक्रेट हो, चाहे ऑफिसर्स हो, जिसकी जहां ताकत पड़ती है वो वहां पर भ्रष्टाचार करता है। तो ये नियम है प्रकृति का है कि शोषण और शोषक दो तत्व रहे हैं, तो शोषक शोषक शोषित रहा है। अब ये कैसी बीमारी क्या है? बीमारी बहुत तगड़ी है। ये बीमारी ऐसी है, इन्फेक्शियस डिजीज है, डॉक्टर साहब ने जैसा बताया पहले। अगर एक ऑफिस में कोई भ्रष्टाचार कर रहा है, तो दूसरा भी उसको देखते देखते करना शुरू कर देता है। उसमें कंडीशन कुछ भी जो जरूरी नहीं है कि पैसे वाला नहीं करेगा, गरीब ही करेगा। सब करते हैं। जिसको जैसा, जिसको मौका नहीं मिलता है वो भ्रष्टाचार के ऊपर मेरे जैसा आदमी भाषण दे रहा होता है, और जिसको मौका मिल रहा होता है वो भाषण देने नहीं आता है। तो मौके का तलाश रहती है। जिसको मौका मिल गया उसने भ्रष्टाचार किया। कब कैसे खत्म होगा? नहीं हो सकता। क्यों नहीं हो सकता? कि वो ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम है, ये अकेले इंडिया की नहीं है, ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम है। और जितना ज्यादा भ्रष्टाचारी उतना ज्यादा उसको महिमा मंडन हम करते हैं। जितने ज्यादा नेता हों, जितने ज्यादा ब्यूरोक्रेट हो। अब डॉक्टर साहब ने अभी शरकत बसु जी ने एक उदाहरण दिया था, ये हरियाणा का आईपीएस थे, मैं नाम बोल रहा हूँ, उनको 35 बार तक उनका ट्रांसफर हुआ, ईमानदार आदमी का। और 4-4 दिन पे उनका ट्रांसफर हुआ। कोई भी गवर्नमेंट आती हो, उसने ट्रांसफर किया उस आईपीएस। और रहने वाले राजस्थान के थे, उनके हरियाणा में उसकी पोस्टिंग थी। तो जो भ्रष्टाचार है उसमें कब खत्म होगा? जब अपने पुरानी जगह पे आएंगे। जैसे गोधन गजधन बाजधन और रतन धन खान, जब आवे संतोष धन सब धन धूर समान। इस आदर्श में चलेंगे तो हो सकता है। या फिर मातृवत परदारेषु परद्रव्येषु लोष्टवत, दूसरे के अगर द्रव्य को लोष्टवत देखना शुरू कर देगा आदमी, तो भ्रष्टाचार खत्म होगा। मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि अगर मैं कोई कार्य कर रहा हूं वो भ्रष्टाचार नहीं है। अगर आप काम कर रहे हो वही काम, तो भ्रष्टाचार है। इसलिए ये जो बातें हैं इनके ऊपर चलना बहुत कठिन है, बात करना बहुत सरल है। कि किसने कितनी ज्यादा, जितना नजदीक चला है भ्रष्टाचार से दूर, उसको हर जगह पे ठोकर खानी पड़ी है। उसको जनरल में बोगी में बैठ के जाना पड़ा है। हर जगह उसका प्रमोशन नहीं हुआ है, हर जगह उसको परेशानी हुई है। उसका जिसके पाउन फटी में वहीं वो का जाने पीर पर आई। इस भ्रष्टाचार से लड़ने वाले आदमियों ने जो दर्द सहे हैं, उनको वही व्यक्त कर सकते हैं जिन्होंने इसको सहा है। तो करप्शन इज ए इन्फ्लेमेटरी डिजीज दैट कैन नॉट बी क्योर बाय एनी टाइम। और आयुर्वेद की विशेषता है, आयुर्वेद कह गया है ये केदारी कुलजा न्याय से चलता है। जिसकी जितनी क्यारी बड़ी, बड़े ऑफिसर की ज्यादा बड़ी करे, छोटे ऑफिसर ही करे, तो केदारी कुलजा न्याय से पूरा ऑफिस ही पूरा भ्रष्ट रहता है। सबका अपना अपना हिस्सा होता है। और दूसरा उसमें खले कपोत न्याय भी होता है। जिसको जितनी ज्यादा जरूरत होती है उतना ज्यादा भ्रष्टाचार करता है। तो केदारी कुल्ला न्याय और खले कपोत न्याय दोनों ही इसमें लागू होते हैं। इसलिए जो नियम है प्रकृति का, शोषक और शोषण का, वो चलता रहेगा, इसको खत्म नहीं किया जा सकता है, मेरा ऐसा मानना है। और अगर करना है तो खुद सुधरोगे तो जग सुधरेगा। स्वयं से पहले करें और दूसरे को न करने दें। ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता दूसरे को नहीं करने दें, मगर काफी नियम कानून बना दिए गए हैं सरकारों ने, सभी सरकारों ने नियम कानून बनाए हैं, मगर वो लागू इसलिए नहीं हो पा रहे हैं कि सख्ती से पास। चार वो अपने वो हैं स्तंभ, पत्रकारिता है, न्यायपालिका है, विधायिका है, कार्यपालिका है। ऐसा कौन सा जगह है जिसके अंदर भ्रष्टाचार नहीं है? जिस वकील को मैं 1.5 लाख रुपए दे के एक अपने वो करके आता था, बिना रसीद के, बिना रसीद किए हुए, बिना कोई पावती दिए हुए 1.5 लाख रुपए दे के अपना केस करता हूँ और मैं हार जाता हूँ, वही वकील जब जज बन जाता है तो क्या समझते हैं? वो 1.5 लाख रुपए नहीं लेता है, वो 1.5 लाख की जगह 1.5 करोड़ लेना शुरू कर देता है। तो न्यायपालिका से लेकर के भ्रष्टाचार, न्यायपालिका, कार्यपालिका, विधायिका और पत्रकारिता। आपकी न्यूज नहीं छापनी है तो पैसे दे दो, न्यूज छापनी नहीं छापोगे तो पैसा आपकी न्यूज छप जाएगी। तो हर जगह भ्रष्टाचार है। तो इसकी जड़ें इतनी गहरी हो गई हैं, इनको उखाड़ना बहुत मुश्किल है। इसकी जड़ के अंदर भट्ठा डाल दें तो शायद ठीक हो सकती है। तो मेरे ख्याल से ईमानदार लोग, कुछ लोग अगर इसके अंदर मत्था डालना शुरू कर देंगे जैसा सरकार ने अभी किया है, ईडी और सीबीआई चिल्लाते हैं लोग, ईडी और सीबीआई अगर पीछे पड़ जाएगी तो निश्चित ही कुछ कंट्रोल होगा। थोड़ा थोड़ा हो रहा है, मैं सरकार को बधाई देता हूँ, धीरे धीरे करके इसको कंट्रोल कर रही है। थैंक यू वेरी मच। भ्रष्टाचार दिन के अंदर भ्रष्टाचार में बोलने के लिए, कल से फिर भ्रष्टाचार करने के लिए छूट देने के लिए धन्यवाद।
जय हो, जय हो, जय हो। अरुणा मैडम आप कुछ बोलेगी, फिर हम लिफ्ट चेंज करें, लिस्ट लिंक। अरुणा जी, डॉक्टर अरुणा तिलक जी,
नहीं,
लास्ट कमेंट
आ,
आप।
सबने बता दिया, लेकिन ये भ्रष्टाचार है, उसको हमने ही निकालना बहुत जरूरी है। बाकी क्या कहे, अगर हमें कोई चाहिए, पासपोर्ट चाहिए, कुछ चाहिए, रेशन कार्ड चाहिए, तो हम ही उनको पैसा देके हम ही खुद उनको करते हैं। तो कहीं ना कहीं वी हैव टू स्टॉप ऑल दिस थिंग्स। बाकी कुछ कमेंट नहीं। और मैं थोड़ा मीटिंग लीव करती हूँ सर, प्लीज प्लीज एक्सक्यूज मी।